Alrighty, let's get started. Hi everyone, and welcome to the second Zoom webinar of a 7-part series brought to you by Tech Savvy Seniors. I am Nick and I will be your host today. We're going to be talking about video chatting services. Because of coronavirus, we're all spending more time away from our families and friends. Not being able to see these people in person frequently is definitely difficult, but video chatting services allow you to instantaneously communicate using video and sound. In this presentation, we're going to learn about 3 of the most popular types of video chatting services: Zoom, Google Meetings, FaceTime, and general information about each, how to download each, and how to use each. So first up, we have Zoom. Since the onset of coronavirus, Zoom has been one of the most popular video chatting services used by schools and companies, but also serves as a great casual way to connect with people. It's available on Apple products, Windows computers, and Android phones. You can start Zoom meetings and invite as many people as you want. In order to download Zoom on a mobile device, you just have to go to your phone's respective app store. So for like Apple, it'd be your just regular app store, and for Google, it'd be the Google Play Store. And then search up Zoom, and it'll come up, and then you can click on it and download it. If you want to access Zoom with an internet connection, go to this link here, https://zoom.us. And if you want to download Zoom, go to this link here. So if you're on a computer like a Mac, you can go to this link right here, and it'll give you the instructions to download it onto your computer. So next up, I'm going to show you how to use Zoom. So because I'm using Zoom right now, I can't actually go to it live. So there's a pre-recorded video that I'll show you. Once you have downloaded Zoom, you can click on this icon right here, and it'll bring you to a page that looks like this. So I'll be showing you what each of these icons and these like this means and all of that. So first off, this orange icon right here, this is how you make a new meeting. So for example, if I wanted to make a new meeting and invite people, or just make a new meeting in general, I could click this, and now I have my own meeting set up. So once you're in this meeting, there's a lot of things you can do. So for those of, I'll just share with you guys the basics, and then after I can go over more complicated things for those of you who are more skilled with Zoom. Hold on, this might not be sharing to you guys, so let me try this real quick. All right. So right here, you should be sharing now. Sorry about that. 2 icons are maybe the most used icons in Zoom. This is how you mute yourself so other people can't hear you. So now that I have myself muted, other people in the Zoom call cannot hear what I'm saying, but I can of course still hear what I'm saying. This is how I stop the video. So if I click this, no one can see my face anymore. And then if I click this again, my face comes back up. This security right here, this is more complicated. I'll go over this after. This chat bar right here, you can click this and type anything like hi and send it off to the Zoom group chat. And what that does is it makes it so that anybody in the group chat can see that message, and then you can just close that off. And if someone else says something in the chat, it'll come up right there. And then reactions. So this is a pretty basic skill as well. If you click this, there are 2 types of reactions, clapping and thumbs up. And other people in the Zoom call can see those reactions that you make. So let's say you don't really want to talk or something, or you want to like give a thumbs up to somebody, but you don't want to do this like in person. You can click this reaction and then click thumbs up, and then people can see you're giving a thumbs up. So next up, we have this little eye in the top left corner. And this is pretty important because if you want other people to join your Zoom call, you have to copy this link right here. And now if you send this to somebody and they click on it, you guys of course all know how to use this because you got into this Zoom webinar. But you can share that, but this is how you actually get the link. You can share that to whoever you want to, and they can come and join your Zoom call. And then like these are all the logistics. Like this is, I'm the host. This is a meeting ID. So if someone wants the meeting ID, then you can give it to them. So yeah, that's just a bunch of other numbers and stuff. So for those of you that are more skilled with Zoom, this security box right here, you can click on it and you can do a lot of different things from here. You can lock the meeting so no one else can come in. So now, even if people have the link that I shared with them, they can't come into the Zoom meeting if I have lock meeting on. This right here, this enables and disables, oh no, I want the photos. This enables and disables the waiting room. So once you come in to the meeting, you'll be put in a waiting room if this is on. If it's not on, then you'll just come right into the meeting. And this allows the participants to share screen. So if you want participants to share screen, I'll go over share screen right after this. Then you can click this. If you want them to chat or not be able to chat, you can click this. If you want them to rename themselves, you can click this. So renaming is basically like that name right there. They'll be able to change that name. So right now it's Nicholas Kubation. They could change it to whatever they wanted. And then this is to be able to unmute themselves. So if you have this off, then that means that when they come in, they'll be muted and they won't be able to unmute themselves. But if you click this, they'll be able to unmute themselves and talk. So the last thing to share with you guys is this share screen button. So you can click this and you can share whatever screen you want. So yeah, so if maybe you have like a document that you want to share and it's on one of like a different file, then you can click this and it'll share that to all the people in the call. So that sums it up for the meeting functions. And then when you want to end a meeting or leave a meeting, depending on if you're the host or you're a participant, there's a button on the bottom right corner right here, and you can click end and then the meeting will end. So I'll click end. So you can leave or end. I'm gonna end it. And it'll bring you back to this page right here. So moving on to the second icon, this join icon, this is where you can type in a link or a meeting ID and join someone else's Zoom webinar or Zoom meeting. That's pretty straightforward. And then share screen, I already showed you guys what share screen does. And then this is like a schedule. You can make new meetings here. So I have all of these meetings lined up. And if you make a new one, it'll come up right here. The latest one will come up here. So I'm recording this before the video chatting webinar actually. So the next one that shows will be coming up is the video chatting webinar. And then that's that, and then schedule. This is how you can make a new Zoom meeting and have it put into your calendar. So let's say I want to meet with my family, or I want to meet with my friends maybe on Thursday, and I make a pre-scheduled Zoom meeting and I put in the day and the date and then whatever, and I'll schedule it, and it'll give me a link to put into. So yeah, so this is it actually right here. I can start it and then I can go here and then I can copy the invitation. And then once I have my invitation copied, I can send that off to my friends and they'll be able to join the meeting. And then also when we go to meetings, it'll show up right here, Nicholas Kubation Zoom meeting. So that's how you actually schedule a Zoom meeting. But you don't necessarily have to do that for all Zoom meetings. If you just want to do one right over just spontaneously, again, you can just go to the new meeting and start one that way. So that sums it up for Zoom. I hope that was a bit helpful. And now I'm gonna end it. So that sums it up for Zoom. This is not the recording anymore. This is me talking. So let's go back to the presentation. The next video chatting service we get to talk about is Google Meetings. Google Meetings serves basically the same function as Zoom, as it connects 2 or more people via video and audio connection. The main difference between the two, however, is that Zoom can hold up to 100 people, whereas Google Meetings can only hold up to 25 people. So if you want to access Google Meetings, all you need is an internet connection, and then you type this into a web browser, this link, it'll bring you to Google Meetings. So let me actually show you guys like how to use a link. So for example, this is a web browser, Google, and then I just search up like pizza.com, and then it'll come up with pizza.com. So pizza.com is a link, and I looked it up right there. So next up, how to actually use Google Meetings. So if you want to access it, go to googlemeetings.org.com or meet.google.com. Sorry about that. And then it'll bring you to a page that looks like this right here. So first up, you want to sign in, already signed in. If you have a Google account, you can sign in pretty easily because it'll match up all the information that you need to put in. And then what you do from here is this icon right here. This is how you make a new meeting. Just like Zoom, there's a button to make a new meeting. So let's make a new meeting right now. Start an instant meeting. And now it'll come to this. So we're not actually in the meeting yet. I have to click join now. So you can add people like friends and stuff right away, or I'll show you guys how to do that after. But now you're in the actual call, right? So this icon right here down on the bottom where my mouse is, this is how you turn your audio off so people can't hear what you're saying. So I'll turn that off right now. So the other people in the chat can't hear what I'm saying. This is how you leave. We'll do that at the end. This is how you leave the call. This is how you turn off your camera. So now that the other people on the call cannot see your face. And then captions, you can click this icon right here and it'll dictate all the things that you say, and then it'll make it words. And I think this is actually very helpful if you're like hard of hearing or you can't hear that well. It'll type all the things that you're saying, as you can see down below right there. And then you can turn it off by clicking it again. And then the times right here. And then this is the chat option. You can click that and you can talk to the other people in the group chat or in the meeting. So let's say hi again. And now everyone can see that. Close that out. And when other people talk to you, it'll show up here. And then show everyone. This is how you add people. Let's say you want to add a friend or something. You click add people and you type in their name or their Google email. So that sums it up for Google Meetings. So we're gonna leave the call right now and then return to presentation. The last video chatting service we're talking about today is FaceTime. And FaceTime is actually pretty interesting because you can only access or use FaceTime if you have a iOS device like an iMac, an iPad, an iPod, like an iPhone, or anything that's made by Apple, essentially. And it should be pre-installed in your device if you do have an iOS device. And if it's not, then you can go to the App Store and buy it. And it's free. So not necessarily buy it, but download it. And something else that's interesting about FaceTime is that it has unlimited people can join a call. So you could have like theoretically 1,000 people in a call, whereas Zoom and Google Meetings, they have limits to the amount of people that can join. So we went over how to download and access FaceTime. You can access it through an application that you download or it's already on your device. And I'll show you how to do that actually when I show you how to use FaceTime. So now we're gonna actually talk about how to use FaceTime. And there's actually a couple different ways to get FaceTime up. you can either ask Siri. If you guys know what Siri is, it's like personal assistant on computer or like a phone. You can say, hey Siri, pull up FaceTime, or you can just more simply just click this icon right here and it'll bring up FaceTime. So once you have this page up here, you can start a FaceTime by searching up some of your friends in this bar right here. In this case, I'm going to be calling myself because my phone's right there and I'm using my computer. So I'll click myself, and then by clicking that icon, the little camera, you can call the person. So I'll be calling my phone, and now on my phone, I'll be receiving the message, and I'll click. And now I'm basically talking to myself, so you can hear the echo. So now let's talk about, oh, that's gonna get very annoying. But let's talk about the functions really quick. This is how you turn off your volume, so people can't hear you. This is how you turn off your camera, so people can't. Let me turn off the volume. Much better. So this is how you make a full screen, and then this is how you add people right here. And then this is how you take a screenshot if you want to take a screenshot. So that's about it. And this is how you exit. So that's about it for FaceTime. It was a bit echoey there because I was calling myself and my phone's right there. So it heard double. But it shouldn't be that echoey if you call like one of your friends or anybody that's like not in the same room as you basically. So that's it for FaceTime. All right, so now we're going to take a look at some questions that we received that people sent in through our email. And the first one is, how do I set up a telehealth call? So this is a good question. We didn't really cover it that much in this presentation, mainly because all telehealth services, all doctors use different telehealth and like video chatting services. So my best advice would be to call up your doctor and ask them, hey, can I set up a telehealth meeting? And they'll work out all the logistics and like what service you'll be using, and they'll basically they give you instructions how to do it. The next question is there a meeting limit for Google Meetings calls? So this is also a good question. We didn't talk about the meeting limit. There's a cap of 60 minutes per meeting on Google Meetings, so you can talk for 1 hour and then it'll cut off. And that is actually longer than Zoom, because Zoom has a video chat cap of 40 minutes. So you get 20 more minutes on Google. And again, there's no cap on FaceTime. You can go for as long as you want. And then the last question is, how do I screen share on Google Meets? All right, so let's go back to Google Meets real quick. Where is it? Right here. So if we rejoin the meeting we just left, and then we join again, we can click this right here, and this is basically screen share. So let's just do a window, and then we get to pick what window, and then you click whatever window you want to. So we can click on this, or if I had more windows open, I could click on those. Let's actually see if Chrome tabs. So yeah, you can also screen share Chrome tabs. And that's how you screen share on Google Meets. So that wraps it up for questions. Let me leave this real quick and go back to the presentation. That wraps it up for questions. Thank you all for attending, and I hope this was able to help. For those of you that are like pro in how to use video chatting services, I hope this gave you some new knowledge that you may not have known before. And for those of you that were like kind of iffy or didn't know actually at all anything about video chatting services, I hope this was able to give you a pretty understandable walkthrough of how to use these different services. And I will reiterate that like you don't have to use all three of these. You can just use one of them because they're all basically serve the same function. but it's good to know how to use all three of them. Again, if you have any questions, you can send an email to nick@techsavvyseniors.org right here. Type that in if you want to remember that, or like take a picture or something, or write it down if you want to send us questions. And then if you want to visit our website for more information about this topic and other topics, go to techsavvyseniors.org right here. And make sure to tune back in on Thursday, so in 2 days at 2 p.m., same time. So we will be talking about how to use streaming services on Thursday. So that's pretty exciting. And that sums it up for today's presentation. Thank you all so much for coming, and please have a good rest of the day.